Welcome back. Now, a will is a legal instrument that permits a person to make decisions on how his estate will be managed and distributed after his death. Transference and administration of wealth has generally been a problematic issue in the African society due to the thought of death as well as the reluctance of many towards writing a will, which may be accepted or not. Now, there is also the notion that only the rich and extended families need to write a will. Some are also of the opinion that will is mostly the cause of family rift and disunity after the death of the writer, therefore making a case for the unity of the family. Will writing is, however, not new to Nigeria and existed even during the pre-colonial era when the people made their will verbally before death. Research has shown that less than 10% of Nigerians have their will clearly written. Interesting. With the average life expectancy in Nigeria as 47 years, when will you write your own will? It's your view. Let it count. You can call us on 070-8066-8014 or you can tweet at us at YourViewTVC. We'd like to hear from you. All right, YK, do you have a will? Because you're over 47.
Yeah, no, I don't have a will, but what I want to just tell you something. If you're married, if you're a man and you're married, you have property, and you die intestate, a third of whatever you own goes to your wife, and then legally. The rest legally, your legal wife, not your concubines or your second wife or third wife, only legal wife, and then the children now divide the remaining 2/3.
Okay, so even if you don't have a will, that's already on ground, right?
That's already on ground.
Really?
If you die intestate,
interesting.
They now share equally. There is no firstborn, second one. Everybody now shares it equally. So.
That should help out.
I just wanted to
that should help out for those that don't have wills.
But if you have any contrary plan as regards that, then you can now state it in your will.
Interesting.
So that doesn't apply everywhere because I know places
that
traditionally when you see all these family members coming and the will has been written and then they want to take over and they're telling you that the legal wife has no right to the property. That is another issue that we tend to deal with a lot in Nigeria. Where there's a legal document saying this is what I want.
People always question the legality of that document. Yes, Sanzi, let me hear.
I'm saying it doesn't apply everywhere because in my side of town, my side of town, there is something we call Iriekbe. And Iriekbe is if you have kids or you're entitled to will because they believe that the only people who inherit are the guys. So if you're married and you don't have a male child, just count yourself, and you lose your husband, count yourself out. You're not getting anything. Why? Because they say the ladies are leaving, so you apparently have nothing on ground. So you don't deserve it. You don't deserve anything. And now the man's property is left between the kinsman and the omona and everyone, and then they start fighting after it. So mostly when you leave a will, you're opening doors for endless family disputes.
In that kind of situation where the father knows he has 5 girls, now writes a will saying regardless of customs and culture, I am willing my entire estate to my 5 daughters.
Most
what
times
happens?
they don't respect it.
Can I just ask you something, Sanzi? This thing, is it legal or is it traditional?
It's maybe customary law.
Because I believe that if it is
customary law.
If you go the legal way,
you win. You would fight it.
But we have customary courts as well.
So isn't that the same thing Bianca is going through?
I
want to say something. When I first saw the will as our topic for today, I was like, my first thought was, wait till I get where I want to write it down here. Because I'm like, what do I actually have? And the next thought was like, what do I really? I was that horrific that at this my age, I can't write anything down on a will. But I realized that most of the time, because we're told that you can write a will from when you're as old as 18, you should have a will. And it was scary because I felt I didn't have anything to write down. But when I thought about it, if I actually die today, I have things. If it's just my makeup tools, I have things that I can that I can actually will to somebody that might actually need them. But we take it for granted that we don't have anything because we don't have a land, you don't have a house, but you have other things you can give.
So will is beyond the big things.
You have your books, yes.
So bottom line, will is beyond it. Now let's ask the question.
Like Jumoke that inherited a TV set.
Oh, really?
She sold me.
Okay, but in a situation whereby, why is it so hard for in our culture to accept, like Bianca right now, where there's a law, there's a will that clearly states X, Y, Z, and still we don't uphold it? Why is it so hard?
I would think, in my opinion,
that, you know, Bianca wasn't the very first wife that Ojukwu had. So he must have had children from the first wife, older people that his kinsmen would consider the rightful heirs to whatever property he had, not the young lady that came towards the end of his life to enjoy his property. So it's usually the relatives that make things difficult. If a man leaves a will and none of his extended family members get involved, most times the will be executed without any kind of incident.
And another reason,
he did.
No, but the question you asked was that why is it that most people don't follow through and they still contest the will? Now, the thing is, we're brought up in a culture where everybody feels that this property of my brother when he dies, it belongs to me. Now, if a will now goes contrary to their expectation, okay, they've seen somebody going sick, they've already seen that he has 2 houses or 3 houses. They're expecting that when he dies, it belongs to them. The will now states that it belongs to his children. They would contest it because there's a cultural belief that it should go to everybody.
I know a very rich man. I know like one of the richest men in Nigeria. His kids, I know a few of his kids, and I know that not too long, a few years ago, he actually distributed the properties to them.
That's also very
He did. So my friend was like, Amara, I got this one, I got that one. I'm like, fantastic, you know. So I know they got their will. So now, although he has smaller kids coming up, they don't have access to what he's giving those ones. But the other ones, or the children of the wives, they've given you everything. So don't tell me that you are
looking for something.
So if I die tomorrow, don't come and start looking for one steady will. Now it's possible that I'm just suggesting now that my will the newer children, the newer assets to the new children come involved. But all the other kids, the ones that are married, that he's giving them their own.
I think it's probably one of the best plans to have. But it depends on what you have. Like Tokwe had said, if you don't have anything to will out, what are you writing in?
There is always Yusuf before I take Sanzi. Good morning, Yusuf. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Yusuf.
This is Chigozie.
Chigozie.
Are you there? All right.
Yes. I think there is always something to will out.
I see you said. I don't know what you think.
The caller is there.
We can't hear anybody.
It's the internal speaker of the house that we can't hear. Okay. So the volume of the call isn't coming up.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there is always something to will out, like Tokwe said. Even if it's your biro, you probably regard this biro, because I know that when you actually find out that everything is important is when this poor man in the village dies, and then he has probably this tiny land like this where he has about 2 rows for yam, and then no, seriously, and he dies, and they are fighting over that tiny land. You know, what are you doing with that land? So you find out that people value things as tiny as this. So a will is very, very relevant.
Even for
my belief is, if I work, if I marry Lady, if you are a man now, I won't marry you now.
You could marry me now.
No. If I marry Lady now, for instance, and I have property, and she has children for me,
yes,
any other person to come and collect my property is wrong. I think the man works, and anything he leaves should go to his nuclear family. His wife and children.
That's the right thing.
I want to take you up on this, YK, because I'm going to take you up. Let me take Olawale's call first. Good morning, Olawale. Are you there?
Hello. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes.
I need to put something across to Tokwe. I thought Tokwe that if she's giving the source supply of rice, sugar, and flour in Nigeria for 2 months, she'll be the most powerful woman in the world.
Sorry, you say that again, please?
Oh. He said something about being the most powerful man in Nigeria.
If I was given the right to rice, sugar, and cement, I'll probably be the most powerful woman in the world.
Okay,
are you sure?
Let me take YK up on, because YK is a very, very cultural person. She believes in tradition, our people, and our belief system.
Yes.
Now, this same belief system that you believe so much in does not, just like Sanzi said, respect the female gender in certain cultures, does not respect the fact that there's a nuclear family. At all. They only respect they acknowledge and expect the nuclear plus the extended. So you're saying, okay, it should be the wife and the children and to
my belief.
That's your own belief.
Yes.
But as somebody who projects our culture, you are one of the people that.
Do you understand? What she's saying is that it seems as if you're contradicting yourself.
I'm not contradicting myself. Let me tell you something.
More traditional.
No. Culture changes. Traditions can change.
Okay.
And who implements the change? It is us, the people. Now, if I feel that this culture is wrong and I have the power to change it, I will change it.
It shouldn't be static.
It cannot evolve with the times.
Yes, you have to evolve. And I don't believe that especially like in Sansi's situation, the lady marries the guy and then the siblings of the man will now come and start claiming property.
Yeah.
Where were you? Go and do your own work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go and
Especially the men. Go and do your own work.
Yeah.
acquire your own property.
I wish
But
they would
some
hear
people-
Acquire
that.
your own property.
Some people feel that, okay, look, maybe I helped my brother. My brother, I invested, I am the one that
Educated him.
Yes, I did not go to school. I educated my brother. He's now a doctor or he's an accountant. He's making so much money and he dies. And then I don't get anything. And they feel like, okay, this is not just.
In most cases, if you educated your brother, in most cases,
that
if
kind
you
of
educated
question.
your brother, you will be an elder sibling, and you really shouldn't outlive the younger sibling.
Because
when
that is exactly
when tradition is concerned,
That doesn't really count.
Wait, let me put that in perspective.
usually
Let me
the
un-
way
let me-
it's
The younger
let
one
me-
can educate the
Let
older
us
one.
put that in perspective because it's a very, very valid case. The guy educates his younger brother.
Or even the
Somehow,
older one.
something happened, he was in an
younger brother
accident,
passed.
he dies.
Yes.
And he has made all this money. And say, oh, because he has a wife, he has children, all the wealth should now go. He that has suffered, he denied his own family.
But
the wealth,
why didn't
just
they
because of
resolve
that?
that issue before the disease?
So, unfortunately, maybe they never resolved it. You shouldn't now take him out.
No. Whatever it is that
We
led
have
to the
tweets.
fact that the brother left him out of the will should be respected.
Also, there's
Okay, I have a
something
call.
we
One
need
second,
to-
Let me take a call. Good morning, are you there? I think it's
Yeah,
Olawale.
good morning. This is Olawale on the line.
Yes, good morning, Oga. Do you have a will?
Yeah, I've been watching this your program for a long time ago, but I've been trying to call, couldn't go.
Sorry.
I called you yesterday night when I watched or repeat on 11 o'clock.
Yes. Go ahead.
This your topic is a very interesting topic.
Yes.
So is it a bad thing that maybe I had a two wife? Maybe the first wife, I married her, I did everything normally. So maybe I did a mistake having an affair with somebody outside her. So I now got married to her. So maybe I now wrote my will, share. Maybe that one has 2 children for me or something like that. So and now after writing my will, giving to my first child and my second wife. So is it a bad thing?
It shouldn't
I'm
be a
asking
bad
the
thing.
question.
No, it should do what?
He said that, assuming he had a wife legally, and then he had an affair that led to
Another wife and
another
another
wife having
child.
to be acquired by force, and he has 2 children by the new wife, that if he should pass away, should it be wrong for him to provide for both women? I don't
No,
know.
it's absolutely
They're your
not.
children, they're your
You
seeds.
see, like him, in this situation, Olawale's situation, I believe that a will is very important.
So
So
there'll
that
be
your
no
will
confusion.
is...
But I think
All right.
we'll take some tweets from you, Sansi, but what I think what we should take off from what we've said so far, because we're about to close on this matter, is the fact that we shouldn't wait until we buy land or houses or cars to will. Anything you have, your jewelry,
Anything
your
you
clothes,
consider.
every little thing. So even as an 18-year-old or a 20-something, once you have something that belongs to you, just write that, I'd like it to
How
be my
you want
younger
to be
sister.
shared.
I'd like to give it to my neighbor. I'd like to give this to, wheel it out. So at least, just if it, God forbid
no
anything
quarrel.
happens,
What if you have only one child?
then
Will
give
it
it
to
to
the
your
child.
neighbors. You can will it to your neighbors. Anybody.
There have been people that have heard of the wealthiest women in the world that willed their property to
To
A
charities.
cat. There is
So
one that
many
will
people
to a
say
cat.
cats.
A cat.
Yeah.
And-
Or the
and
man
it's
that
not
told
good.
the Sansi, let's go
All right,
close.
I will
Close
just
some
have
tweets.
tweets. From Linda Okara, she says, I think writing a will is very important, especially when the man or woman knows that they have family issues unresolved. It's very good. And Mildred Ezekiel says, a will in where I come from does not apply. Writing a will is creating room for bad blood. I'm a witness to that. And Jumoke tweeted at us saying, I'm actually watching you via my inherited TV set. So last one from Joseph Chooks. He says, yes, I agree with you ladies. You don't have to own cars or
Yes.
houses to
All right, let me
write
take
wills.
Shola's call. The last call. Good morning, Shola. Are you there?
Good morning.
How you doing?
Yeah, long time.
Long time,
Things are getting sparkling day by day.
Thank
I
you.
think the places are getting sparkling day by day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, please. The cement, the end production of the cement is 890 naira. And they are selling cement 1,700. My dad, my candidate, I'm watching.
Why would they be the richest people in the
in the
world?
world.
Abio, let me ask them. Tope
Why
and
would they
Co.
be the richest people in the
Eh-heh.
world? When they are buying it 980 and they're
They
selling
can mark up their
1,000.
prices.
All right.
like that.
It's called
This one
business
will
sense.
Back
If you
to
were in
the-
the shoes,
back
you
to
would
the
do
matter.
same.
All right.
And it's the matter. It's part of the matter. It's part
Back
of
to
the
the, all
matter.
right. I think I pretty much talked about everything concerning the will.
No,
will is
can
relevant.
I just raise an issue? You know,
You can't raise, you
no,
just
not raise,
say
just
so.
to say
Yeah.
something. When we live in a community where we are highly extended in terms of our reach. Our extended family is part of us. When we need money, we go to them. When they need money, they come to us. We help ourselves out. So if you by any chance have enough when you're writing your will, acknowledge those brothers and sisters from the same family.
Exactly.
Don't just personalize everything to your children.
I agree with you
Yes.
there. No, I agree with you. I agree that if you're writing a will,
You should
acknowledge
spread it
everybody.
around.
Yes.
I agree. I am
People
only saying that
dear
if-
to you.
People dear to you. People that you believe deserve. Now, another thing, my own school of thought is, are we always waiting for people to die to inherit?
Exactly.
But see, well, you see, our family and traditional people that insist on these things, it's not as if they are mad, though. Because there are some wives that go and jazz their husbands. Or because, you see, I'm a pro-woman person, but I have met some women that make you shy. No, they make me embarrass me. Because they'll go to the any length.
Stoop low.
They'll stoop that low to jazz
They'll
their
even kill
husband,
their husband
to just to get that will. So I can understand why family members say, this woman cannot walk into my house and I'll take up everything my child has and work as if because they say you have a legal document. Are you all right?
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
On that note, we need to close on this matter of will. But ladies, I think we should write a will. I'm going to start writing my own will by God's grace.
What are you willing out?
This watch said now my own. I will leave it to somebody. Up next.
I don't need to.
Okay, please.
I only have one child.
Use one.
Please will it? Yes.
Okay, all right. Up
Your
next, we're going to be analyzing the trend of pregnancy before marriage. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You know it's Thursday, so we are doing a lot of gisting today. I know you have lots of tweets. You will take more tweets. Please, scientists will read your tweets, but we need to move on to the next topic. Back in the day, being pregnant and having a baby before marriage was a taboo, with the shame quite unbearable. African culture valued virginity, and every girl's dream was to wear white on her wedding day. Fast forward to 2013, and this norm may be on its way to extinction, as the practice now is baby first, then comes marriage. Research of this year has revealed that the proportion of births outside registered marriage is 25%, up from 15% back in the day. What has brought on this moral decline? Is pregnancy now a prerequisite for marriage? Ladies, it's your view, let it count. You can call us on 070-8066-8014. Or you can tweet at us at YourViewTV, so we'd like to hear from you. This is a really difficult topic for me today. It's very difficult because, I know. It's highly difficult. It's so...
Yeah, inside.
Yeah,
inside the matter.
Let me transfer it to my people. What are your thoughts on this matter?
I wouldn't say that I approve of pregnancy before marriage. But what it actually proves is sexual immorality before marriage. It means that you're already practicing premarital sex. So the fact that that is even acceptable is something that I find funny, even though most of us may have been found guilty of it. But it shouldn't have become acceptable.
Can I say something?
Yes.
What we should look at is what actually causes people, what's caused this phenomenon? Why do people start believing that they should be pregnant before getting married? One, because we now realize that having children isn't that easy as we used to believe it was. Because we now marry late. We all believe that when you marry late, it becomes more difficult to have children. So they want to be sure that you are intact. And they know that you've lived probably some form of reckless life. You might have done abortion and all that. So they want to be sure that what they are getting is the full package. And when you're already having that mindset, it means you don't have proper foundation for a good marriage. That means you're set up for disaster.
Not necessarily.
Now,
Because I did the
necessarily.
research.
No,
and
no,
the
can I
thing
ask
is,
you a question?
I read
One
somewhere.
second.
I read somewhere.
Let's hear from Sanzi. 1 second.
No, because you're saying not necessarily. I want to just say, because I read somewhere that if most cases, when you have premarital sex, most divorce rates is high everywhere worldwide. But in America, if you marry a virgin, they are more likely to have a better marriage than those that married.
I don't know about that one.
But that's what the research
I'm not
is
in
now, so-
America. I'm presently in
Yes,
Nigeria,
Sanzi.
and I know a couple of guys I hang out with who, one or two of them, believe stuff like that. They will tell you that it is called testing, that they want to test the waters and be sure that you're fertile. And I do have a huge problem with that, because I would always tell them, I am not some cloth in the market. They would always give this instance of, you're in the market, you need to try your clothes on before you buy it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I am a full-grown human being.
Not
I am
a
not
baby-making factory.
exactly. I'm not some cloth in the market you price for 25,000 naira or so.
Let me hear from YK on this matter. YK, what are your thoughts on this
The
matter?
question I want to first ask Dr. Did you get pregnant before you got married, or
No.
so you got married after?
I
before
got pregnant.
Yeah, I got married, and
Then
a
you got
few
pregnant
months after I got
got
pregnant.
Okay.
Yes.
But I just wanted to just
Yes,
clarify.
sure, yes.
For me, I know that a lot of Yoruba people say
Insist on it.
you insist on you getting pregnant before because
marriage.
in case you are infertile. Now, I want to ask those kind of people, if it is the man that can't have the kids,
What
They will
happened?
beg
What will
you
happen?
to please accept him and then
They
that's
barely
something.
even
Wait,
believe
one
the
second,
man
one second.
ever has a problem.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
barely ever believe that. So long as
But
you get married or
one
you
second,
know,
let's talk about
let's
this.
move
One
to the
second.
topic.
You see, one thing I want us to always acknowledge is the fact that all these cultural beliefs, all these demands from the families, they make those demands because they've seen.
things happen.
They have seen things in the past. Because I am an advocate for no sex before marriage. Because I practiced that. I was very, very careful. We were getting very, very kissy. Bros, this kissing must stop immediately because it must not transfer to the next level. And we stopped it immediately. And I remember we stopped it. And it was until after marriage. But that's my own private business.
Yes.
But when somebody demands that, let this girl get pregnant, the woman knows what she's talking about. Because they are women. You see, as I said, I am a pro-woman person, but there are some women out there that are wicked. You know you don't have the capacity to have children anymore. And you don't tell the truth to this man. You don't tell him the truth, and you force him into marriage. He marries you, thinking that, okay, he's getting... Fine, there's an issue of love.
Can I ask you a question? I want to ask Mariah a question. Is getting married a prerequisite for having children? Is it
having children having a prerequisite? Not necessarily. There's some people that get married for love, so they don't really care if the child is the woman.
So my point is,
that's fine.
if you marry into a lie, if the woman lies to you, she knows she can't have a baby, then you have every right to divorce her because you married a lie.
And
That's the issue.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, let's take Yakub's call. We'll not take talk. But Yakub, good morning. Are you there?
Good morning.
Okay, Yakub.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
I want to talk about earlier topic.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you have a will?
Hello?
Do you have a will?
Will?
Do you have a will?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I will definitely write my will.
you should
It's
though.
very important. It's very, very important because I'm a Muslim. If you want
it's
to
very
go
important.
biblically and Islamically, every man, every woman being as a man have everything to write his will because the Quran says that there's a culture that somebody's talking about culture there. There's nothing culture has to do in a will because if you are following your culture, at the end of the day, those children are going to fight each other. One, because if a lady or a girl, this is what Quran says. Quran says a lady and a man. If you want to write your will, in a situation where you are writing the will, giving male children, giving him to something, and then you will give one to a lady, to a girl, because Quran knows that lady is going to inherit another will from his husband, from her husband, rather. That is why Quran says that you should give two to man and then one to woman. So in a situation whereby you are not talking about culture, a situation whereby somebody writes his will, or his will rather, and then he doesn't give female something, he doesn't give female child for anything. Right. It is prohibited in Islamic.
Okay.
It's very totally prohibited.
Thanks for that clarity, Thanks for that clarity.
Can I ask him a question?
I think he has gone. Yes.
I would have loved to ask him a question.
Okay.
What if his girlfriend or his child marries a poor man? So she
would have been given one portion from his own inheritance. But back to this, your pregnancy matter, please. Could I ask a question? When you say that people should, ideally, a lot of men want to make sure that you can have a baby before they, in this situation that we're discussing, before they marry you. When everybody is trying a lady out, she doesn't conceive for this one, she doesn't conceive for this one. How many people are going to go on that road before they know? And then the fact that she hasn't conceived in 5, 6, 7 years doesn't mean she's not able to have a child.
Exactly.
True.
So one of the bedrocks
yes.
of a good marriage is honesty. I advise, I have a lot of small children around, it's not children, small, young ladies around, and I tell them, when you meet someone, discuss with this person, ask, what are your ideas about marriage, what do you believe about sex, what do you believe about children, how many children you want to have, discuss all those things, let it be open. If they ask you, have you had an abortion before, say yes. If they say, I want to check, if you do this, and let everything be laid in the open.
The truth. Bottom line, when you're going into a relationship, honesty.
Very
Let's take Adeyemi from Ikorodu. Good morning, Adeyemi. Are you there?
Morning, Mariah.
Morning, sir.
Morning, everybody.
Yes.
Morning.
It's a very important discussion this morning. Pregnancy before
Marriage.
Unfortunately, it's become a norm in our environment.
be very, very sincere, it is not proper for any reason. If we want to say we want to test the fertility of the woman or the man before marriage, what happens if after she conceives and you go into marriage and
she loses the baby?
Yeah.
She loses the baby.
I have
tweets, yes.
Or she has a Mongo.
Mady 007 says, there is moral degradation in our country as most marriages come as a result of pregnancy. Some decide to get married after children. And Abayomi Sale says, sex before marriage is the beginning of lack of trust and faith. Men do not want to marry liabilities. Nature of women these days play a role too. And Noah Money says, I beg, leave talk for market women. Your girls of these days are the ones that want to get pregnant to tie men down.
That
doesn't necessarily mean they're going to marry.
But there's something else I want to say. You see, marriage, children, having children early in marriage is not a guarantee of successful marriage. Being fruitful does not mean you'll be happy in your marriage. Children before marriage is totally wrong, and that's my own opinion. But another thing, when I got married, immediately after I got married, I got pregnant like almost immediately, and I lost that pregnancy. And that first stage, I was very, very sick, and I realized a lot of my friends that also went through that process. If you get married, you're supposed to bond with your partner. Now, if a child precedes that marriage, you don't really get to know your partner. You've not bonded properly, and then the child becomes a third wheel in that party. So you don't have time to really get to know.
Let's talk Victor. Victor, you there? Good morning.
Oh,
with our lines this morning. Yes, Mikey.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chokwe, because for me, that's why I think having a child or children shouldn't be the reason for getting married.
Exactly.
I think it is love. That is the only thing that can sustain that relationship. If it is children, it's not that
is the wrong
relationship.
reason.
It's not the right
But
reason.
what then happens in a situation where it's the mother-in-law that is insisting, or the family of the groom that is insisting that you should make sure that she can have a child before you marry?
Which
Well, you know, I'm not saying I agree.
Yes,
I'm just saying that what happens in that situation?
We need to really. That's an important.
Okay, let me say something. When I wanted to get married, my parents didn't agree because they felt that I shouldn't marry somebody from another area because I'm an only child. They feel they want somebody that they can converse with properly. I stood my ground. If you love someone, if your mom and your dad is saying you should marry based on pregnancy, you will start to go, I love this person. I don't have any issue with this person.
It's easy for you to say.
I will
It's easy to say. When you experience it where you're not able to. The mother of the parents, there are instances where the parents have strong influence over the child and say, listen, you must not marry this person until we see pregnancy. And these days now, we have to be very careful.
I really don't understand when that law changed, because this says back in the days, being pregnant and having a baby before marriage was a taboo.
Exactly. Remember how
back in the day? So when did that change?
Good morning. I think I have Victoria from Egbeda. Good morning, Victoria.
Good morning, Mariah.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
You have such a nice voice.
This morning.
Thank you.
You're looking so beautiful. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I love your topic this morning. This is my own view. I have someone, I wouldn't want to mention her name, I don't want to say that. She has been married for years, like 11 years, and she was a virgin. She was a virgin, and till now,
she is unable to.
She does not have any issue. What do you think about that?
You see?
Sanzi was asking a question. When did the law change? I think the law changed when bedsheets started coming out clean without any stains. Because traditionally, when we were speaking, you know, back in the day, what they used to do was on the wedding night, they would wait for you to bring out a sheet and show that this lady is a virgin. But women started tricking men into believing that they were. That's traditionally speaking, but we've gone way beyond that now. And
so I think Victoria made a fantastic point.
She raised a very, very important issue.
So let us not put weight on the fact that, oh, you married a virgin. That does not guarantee you can have children.
So are we saying women that are born with deformity, that means they can never, so women are born, they have deformity that does not allow them to have children, they will never get married?
We're not saying that. You've already said that if you have a partner that can stand with you for love, they will definitely get married.
I know someone, a man, that was, he was in a church. The man was forming, let's wait before marriage, only for them to marry, and the woman discovered that the man was impotent. The man cannot even do jack.
Now,
so much that they got a divorce after.
It boils down to being honest with your partner before marriage.
That's
Just
justice.
honesty. Honesty solves a lot of things. Honesty brings trust. Honesty
companionship
brings
You need to
endurance. So just be honest, open. This is, if I'm infertile, if I've had an abortion, or if I'm impotent, say it, state it out in the open. If you don't marry that person, or if you don't end up together, the world will not end. What are you scared of? Why would you want to hide things about yourself to someone who you're practically going to spend the rest of your life with, and who will know you forever?
There's this Yoruba proverb.
We have to round up, yes.
That says that you don't hide yourself from a person that will bury you. Do you understand? If you know anything that you know would be a danger to your wedding, let it be clear from the beginning.
Well,
your hair really suits you like this, madam.
All right.
I think tweets? Okay.
Yeah, let's do some tweets.
Okay. Well, E-Mark says the question shouldn't be that were you pregnant before marriage. It should be were you a virgin before marriage, because if you are, you say no. I believe in staying as a virgin before marriage, because even when you marry without kids, most times family can understand. Chioma Kezie says, it's now very common. A lot of youth now think it's the right thing to do. At least our superstars of nowadays do it, and they call it my baby mama. And Miss Ruth says, pregnancy as a condition for marriage occurs mostly in Yoruba land, but still they won't accept anyone that has a child before as a proof.
Okay, all right. On that note, we're going to have to round up. But generally, I think what is important for us to note is the fact that it's our culture growing up saying that we shouldn't have, or even for the Quran and the Bible. Joe both agree that no premarital sex. That's what the standard is.
Yes.
And because of that, we've kind of brought that into our own culture also, say, you know, you don't have to have sex. But nowadays, though families demand on it, just like we rightly said on this table, it's between the man and the woman. If you both of you have agreed and both of you are honest with each other, other parties should respect your views.
And
all right,
I think marriage should really be based on love and trust.
And
it's not about having children.
All right. On that note, we're going to end the show. Thank you very much, ladies. Don't forget to watch a repeat broadcast of the show. Today's Thursday, so it's 11:30 p.m. You can also watch previous episodes on YouTube. You can go to Your View Space TVC. And as always, WHO, the World Health Organization, says that 30 Nigerians die of cancer every single hour. The best, sorry?
Say it now. That thing you said at the beginning, say it again.
No, the best cure for cancer is early detection. Please go for your screening today. Have a good morning. Why you put me in trouble?